Greetings. This is State Representative Bill Zedler, and it's my distinct pleasure and honor to be with you, the faculty and staff, the 2020 graduating class of Richard Milburn Academy, and their relatives and their friends. My friends, as you close one chapter in your life, you're preparing to open the door that will be a wonderful opportunity and challenge. But along the way, I'm certain that each and every one of you will find success and difficulties, and in some cases, yes, failures. So I thought I would share a few little thoughts of wisdom that I have gained in my many years of experience. Have you ever noticed that when you have two people that are faced with difficulties, challenges, tragedies, that one person it seems to almost destroy. The other person, it's like they almost use it as a springboard to greater success. And why is that? What has happened along the way? Well, let me tell you, when I was growing up, the one thing my mother would do, she would have her little, what we call sayings. One of them was, laugh and the world laughs with you. Weep and you weep alone. One of the others was, no burden is so heavy that you can't make it a little lighter by the way you carry it. And then there was a poem that I had that I used to love, and it went like this. Did you face that trouble that came your way with a resolute heart and cheerful? Or hide your face from the light of day with a craven soul and fearful? Oh, trouble's a ton or trouble's an ounce, or trouble's whatever you make it. But it's not the fact that you're troubled that counts, but only how did you take it? Renowned pastor Chuck Swindoll narrowed it down, and he said this. He said, 1% of life is what happens to you. 99% of life is how you deal with it. And Olympic gold medal winner and mental management expert Lanny Basham put it this way. He said, it's unimportant what happens to you in life. What is important is how you deal with what happens to you in life. Let me narrow it down a little bit more where the rubber meets the road. When you're faced with a difficulty, a challenge, or a tragedy, or whatever, you can do one of two things. You can either focus in on the problem, the difficulty, the tragedy, and become overwhelmed with it. Or you can come and say, A, is there a solution? If so, what is it? Is there an opportunity? And what is that? Or is this simply a roadblock that I need to understand? And let me give you a few stories that kind of tell you how I've seen this in my life. When I was in business, I was in this particular division that I thought to be, this is the best division to be with. If I want to succeed, this is the division I need to be with. But I had a boss that one day called me in his office, and he kind of suggested that I find something else to do. Now, ultimately, I found out it was because he wanted to have that position, my position, for a friend of his. But what happened was the very next week, I had somebody from another division of the same company, and he said, hey, we have an opening in Dallas. How would you like to have it? Well, I said, I'll take it. Now, I want to tell you, had that offer come to me a week early or 2 weeks early, I probably would have turned the individual down. Because from my viewpoint, the division I was with was the best one. But you know what? What happened was, when I went to work for the new division, it just so happened it was kind of like a perfect match. I was very successful in that new division, much more successful than in the previous one. I went on many trips, and then 10 years later, they actually shut down that particular division. And when they shut it down, they came to me and they said, well, you are eligible for an incentive retirement plan, a golden parachute. And you know what? I looked at it and I said, I think I'll take it. And at that point, what happened was an opportunity to go to work for a venture capitalist company that gave me stock to go work for them. They were immensely successful. And let me tell you, that's what eventually allowed me to become a state legislator where we only make $600 a month. So as I look back, I thought, you know what? If I were to run into my old boss on the street, I'd probably go up there and surprise the heck out of him by giving him a great big hug and saying thank you. Because what it did, it forced me to make a change that I would not have ordinarily made. I saw the same thing with some friends of mine in college. Now, these were just ordinary guys. They made ordinary grades, and they had gone to work for a company that was selling life insurance to mortgage companies. And it worked like this, that if you were to die, it'd pay off your mortgage or your insurance, whatever you were getting as a loan from the bank or the mortgage company. But what happened was, along the way, the mortgage company decided that we're going to cut their commission rate. Or not the mortgage company, but the company they were working for was going to cut their commission rate. And so as they started looking at things, they started thinking about it, and they said, you know what? We're the ones that have all these great relationships with the customers, not my boss. So why don't we kind of do this? Why don't we kind of open up our own company? And guess what? They did. They opened up their own company, and they became successful beyond their wildest dreams. Why? Because their company that they worked for said, we're going to cut your commissions. And I've often thought, I wonder what would have happened to my old friends had that company not decided to cut their commissions. Another person you may have heard of, his name is Steve Jobs. Now, Steve Jobs was the one who started Apple computing. And in essence, what happened was it was gotten to be multi-billion dollar company. And he'd hired this guy, and the guy had gotten up the ladder. And over a period of time, this guy had become very powerful politically within the company. And the end result was this individual goes to the board of directors and convinces them to fire Steve Jobs. And here's what Steve Jobs says after he'd gotten fired. He said, I didn't see it then, but it turned out that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that had ever happened to me. The heaviness of being successful was replaced with the lightness of being a beginner again. It freed me to be one of the most creative periods in my life. You see, what it boils down to, and again, that very often difficulties, tragedies in life sometimes are not a bad thing. It forces us to find new opportunities. And if we do it, it leads to success. My friends, I believe that each and every one of us was created by God for a purpose in life. But we must look beyond the circumstances of life to truly find that purpose and be successful. You've been given a key to opportunity with your diploma. What you do with it is up to you. But my hope and prayer is this, that each and every one of you will turn your failures into success, that you will learn from your adversities, and may you find opportunity in your difficulties. God bless you, God bless Texas, and God bless America. And folks, look out, world. Here comes the 2020 class of Richard Milburn Academy.